I am a 400-foot tall pink platypus bear with purple wings and...
So, I'm not a blind earthbender,
hair.
but I'm very glad you're not a sociopath. or Azula, because that would be terrible and terrifying. But you're pretty good at lying, although that was terrible.
It was.
Hey there, nomads of lore. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jonathan.
And together we are Mead and Mischief, your home away from no home. Today we are going to be talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. All right. We're going to talk about Book 3, Season 3. We're going to talk about our favorite fight scenes from that season. This is kind of rounding out the last of this little micro series we're doing. So let's go ahead and get started. Jonathan, what was your favorite fight scene from Book 3?
So I think I'm going to have to go with the very last fight scene between Aang and Fire Lord OZAI. It's just kind of the culmination of Aang being like all the different, water, earth, air, and fire bending that he knows how to do. And I like how he kind of starts out as he started out pretty much every other single fight he's ever done, which is kind of more playing on the defense and doing his air stuff. And then realizes, oh no, I'm going to have to actually do some other things to try to defeat.
He's losing hardcore.
And he is losing hardcore and getting taken down because he's not near the Fire Lord, not near the Firebender that Fire Lord OZAI is, and Fire Lord OZAI has, of course, the comet. And so that is just, it's awesome. Him losing is just awesome, and then it turning around and him going full into the Avatar state, and then pummeling the crap out of the Fire Lord, and then finally even to the extreme of taking away his firebending, which we talked about in our video of the overview or the first impressions of this book. But it's kind of the best ending, because you've been wondering this whole time, okay, he's got to be ended somehow, and you never really see he could still be alive.
You could make a case for it being a cop-out, but I think it fits.
It does.
I think
because it allows Aang to not do what he didn't want to do, which was kill him. Yeah. But it takes him out of the equation completely. There's no way for the Fire Lord to start taking over the world again or do anything crazy. And
it adds some interesting Enigma world building stuff with the lion turtle things too, which they kind of ruin in Legend of Korra, but we're not talking about that in this. But it's super cool.
Yep.
Super duper cool. So, my favorite fight scene of the entire show and Book 3, obviously, is the fight scene between Zuko and Azula with Katara there as well. It's very important, actually. It is the culmination of all of their arcs, really. Well, you could make, I guess, Katara has had some other catharsis. Not the right word, but whatever. There's some cool stuff with her, which I'll get to, because most of her stuff comes at the end. But it's very much Zuko is the fully realized prince of the Fire Nation in that thing. He's gone full circle, and not full circle back to being a horrible human being, but he's gone from an angsty teenager with very little power and basics and whatever to somebody who was a powerful firebender, but his power and his firebending came from his hate and his rage, and he dealt with all of that, and then he went and he found a different way through peace and coming to terms with himself, and the whole thing with the dragons and all that cool stuff. And so he is easily the match for Azula, and of course we had seen this progression of her becoming unhinged from the end of Boiling Rock, and she's just gone bonkers. I mean, really, really has lost her marbles. I mean, she's just totally broken, because she was already very unstable, but those relationships that she did have, even though she didn't know how to have them, they were kind of keeping her together. And when she lost those, it just went. And so she is very unhinged in the scene. The way her facial expressions and her, Jonathan mentioned her hair in the other video, they're shot. That she's struggling, but she's
even
still
firebending.
Yes,
even
it's
the way
not. She can't. I don't know if I may be remembering wrong, but until the end, she can't hardly lightning bend. But it's not as powerful as it was. I mean, it's obvious. That's another thing about that fight scene is it's beautiful because it's got this. It's just beautifully animated. This huge fire bending. That's fueled by the comet and all of that. And then there's so much in this scene that's just amazing. But Azula's losing. I mean, Zuko's got her on the run, and he's going to beat her. And because she's Azula and she's a sociopathic, evil, crazy person with no redemption arc in sight, she looks and she's going to lose, and she sees Katara over there, and she sees her chance. Mm-hmm. And so she does muster up enough control, which is still impressive. She's still probably the best firebender in the show, most powerful anyway. She somehow is able to get enough control to lightning bend at Katara. And amazingly, Zuko jumps and sacrifices himself for Katara, and he jumps and he takes the lightning, and he can't redirect it because he's off balance and off kilter. He's not able to do that in that moment, and so he takes the full brunt of her lightning, which may have not been as powerful lightning because of Azula's issue. We don't know, but he goes down, and Katara goes and tries to help him, but Azula's quick on her tail, and so they fight, and that's super cool because Katara has become a super powerful waterbender.
It is.
And because of Azula's unhingedness, Katara is able to eat in spite of the massively powerful firebending. She's kind of able to hold her own enough. I mean, she uses the terrain to hide, and then because Katara is pretty clever, she notices water, and she puts together this quick ploy and ends up capturing her in ice and then melting just a little bit of it and trapping her, and which is that shot in that show is powerful moment for Azula, where she's just totally lost it, and not only is she mad, she's angry, she's lashing out, and she's crying, and you get a sense that it's just totally broken. Nobody loves her. The way she's lived her life, she's completely broken. She's totally done for. And she, in that moment, moves from being a powerful, scary, evil person to a pathetic figure. Someone that in that moment, even though she's horrible, you feel sorry for her in that moment, and that's really the only moment that happens in the show, and it's just there's so many cool things in that fight.
We kind of talked about it beforehand, which ones were our favorite, and technically that scene was probably my favorite as well. But there's just so many good fight scenes. But I kind of realized for the first time, Katara does have a few moments where she's pretty clever with her bending, especially like the building up sweat and all that kind of stuff, but it's never been really like laying traps that I remember, and I may be missing something.
Yeah,
but I think she kind of got that from Azula, because that's how Azula, does everything. She's laying traps and foundations, and I think at some point Katara might even kind of admire her for being a woman, being super powerful, and being doing what she wanted to do, kind of thing.
Not motherly.
No, exactly. Yeah. And anyway, so it's kind of interesting that she kind of took what Azula normally does and used it on her by.
Well, it's kind of almost a growing up. Like she's not just the helpless little girl anymore, which is what she says earlier into the Southern Raider commander. She's not that helpless little girl anymore, and she's not. And it's kind of that one more piece of she's she's, nothing that she does in that scene is evil. Nothing that she does, but she's mature in the way she's fighting. Yeah,
That's right.
Absolutely. Super
Well, thank
cool.
you guys for tuning in. This has been our favorite fight scenes from Book 3, Season 3 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give us a thumbs down. If you haven't yet, go down there and click the red button, subscribe, and ring the bell. And you guys have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.
Bye.